Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, how are you? As you come on here, do me a favor. If you could please hit the like button or the thumbs up button, and then tell me in the comments section below where you are tuning in from. That would be extremely helpful. I'm Andrea Cox, and I've got something really cool for you guys today. So looks like we have 10 of you on, so I should see 10 comments telling me what city, state, country you are tuning in from. I'm gonna do something for this beautiful full moon we've got, and we'll go from there. So this is a really cool time we're going through. Let's see who we have on here. Let me know if you can hear me as well. Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Trying to see who is on here. Hello, Ed. Hello, Nathan. Hello, Isaac. Hello, Ahmad. Feel free to share this video as well. So tonight is a full moon in Aquarius, and this is a really interesting full moon, especially for the collective, because it opposes a sign that really questions, control and things of that nature. So it's going to be interesting to see what types of things come on, over the next few days, because let me first talk about full moons and what it does to our energy, no matter where the sign is in our astrological house, because we each have pretty much every sign throughout our chart in some place, right? So tonight's full moon is in Aquarius. So if you're an Aquarius sun, or if you have Aquarius and Venus like I do in Vedic, you might feel this full moon a little more than the average person. So full moons often heighten energy. They've done studies before, this was years ago, that more accidents happen around a full moon, whether they be in a house or on the road, etc., than any other time. And the reason that's so incredibly easy to believe is because the energy is a little bit heavier. Now, if you're pretty grounded and you eat a pretty solid diet and you've done a lot of work on yourself, you probably won't feel the energy as much as like the average person will. But I notice in times leading up to a full moon, I usually feel a little bit more tired. And then during the actual full moon, I feel really like hyper focused, hyper energized. And then that energy actually carries on after the full moon for about 3 days. So this full moon being in Aquarius, and the fact that we've moved into the age of Aquarius out of being in the age of Pisces for over 2,000 years, I'm a Pisces, we're moving away from structure, right? Pisces is all about religion, structure, conformity, conforming, spirituality, which, I feel like we're moving into an age of spirituality. But Aquarius is about travel, movements, what's new, inventions, right? Things like that. So it's going to be really interesting to watch what happens on the media over the next few days with this full moon in particular. Also, Aquarius, I believe Aquarius, I think Aquarius's opposite sign is Leo. So usually when you have two polar opposite signs opposing each other, right? Aquarius is humanitarianism. It's about freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of speech, movement, travel. That's Aquarian energy. Leo is often, they're known as the Strength card and the Sun card. They're about exposing the truth. They're also about ego, right? Leos love to be the center of attention. So check your chart. You may border Leo or whatever. It can often be confused for a little bit of a narcissistic, you know, depending on where it falls in your chart. So, you know, those two opposing each other, right? Aquarius and Leo in this full moon in Aquarius is going to bring up a lot of exposure from the sign of Leo, wanting to expose from kind of an ego standpoint, right? And then from Aquarius, not wanting to confine themselves or conform themselves to rules and things of that nature, right? So it's going to be so fascinating. I do not watch the news at all, but I'm really excited to see what transpires over the next few days, because I think what we're coming to as a collective, and I think it's pretty obvious, is like the general population really doesn't like being controlled. And I think that's going to come out more and more in the news, and you know, things being hidden, things being exposed. So it'll be interesting. I don't tell people to watch the news at all because I personally, you know, I don't own a TV. I just feel like the news is full of garbage, but I definitely am going to be tuning in to see kind of what comes out over the next few days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull 3 cards. Someone sent me this deck from my YouTube channel, and they're the Sacred Travel Oracle cards, and really beautiful deck. I'm going to take a sip of hibiscus tea. That is so good, you guys. Also, I do want to mention, I mentioned it in a blog post yesterday, Happy Halves sent me this awesome bracelet, so you can check out the link in yesterday's post and get, I think it's like 15% off. So check that out. So let's just kind of pull like 3 cards. Actually, let's do 4. I don't want to attach the cards to any like in particular energy, like element, like air, earth, fire, or water. I just want to pull 4 for the collective. I feel like these 2. And then this one. Let's do 1 more and see what comes up. Okay, so this is great. So it's interesting. What came out first is navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. And that's interesting because this is a full moon in Aquarius, and Aquarius loves travel. So navigating to your bliss. So not necessarily returning to what hasn't worked, but learning the lessons and taking them forward and making those lessons work for us, right? We make mistakes, we learn from those mistakes, we process them, and we move forward. So to me, that's what this card, follow your bliss. Some of you may need to travel, right? Maybe your bliss is somewhere else. So that's beautiful. Rejuvenating rain, clear the past, heal the present. So never has there been a stronger time for us to actually be done with our limiting thoughts, right? Some limiting thoughts maybe we were raised with, some we got from, you know, whatever religion, whatever background we're from. Never before has there been a time to take some of those things we learned from our childhood and kind of alchemize it with what we're learning now, right? And to have that alchemic process that really grows our spiritual beliefs into something that's like uniquely ours. So clear the past, heal the present. So I love this because this woman is putting her hand in the rain, and it's almost like a washing clean of the soul, of like just really getting into your element and really saying, okay, I'm releasing the past. It's also about not reacting in the same way we have in the past to circumstances. And I'll use an example. I always use an example of myself because you guys learn from my mistakes. So I'm going through a rebranding, and I decided to let the people I'm working with just take over, because I never do that. I always like to be in control. And I said, you know what, just do what you want. It's fine. You have all my stuff. Just let me know when it's done. And that's not something I normally do. And a lot of people told me, Andrea, that's not smart. And I'm like, you know what? I think it is. I think people who know certain areas like marketing better than I do, I think it's fine. I know my business, they know my business. And so it's about learning from past mistakes and not choosing the same path of reaction or wanting to control situations or wanting to react in the same way we have in the past. So that's really beautiful. So wondrous universe, walk in beauty. So to me, and this is like the card of the magician in this. Hey, Nicole, welcome. This is really about dropping the facades, right? There's like 100 filters you can use on a Facebook Live. And I'm like, I wouldn't even know how to turn one on, right? And maybe doing things a little bit differently than we have in the past, right? Maybe coming on a live like I am now with like no face makeup on, only like mascara and lipstick, and just saying, okay, like here's who I am in my natural state. Like this is who I am at my core, accept me or not. Because walk in beauty is not walking in fakeness, right? It's not walking in who we aren't. It's becoming who we actually are and embracing ourselves like right where we are, right here and now. So I really love this card. And also I feel like what this is saying, you guys, is I feel like this is saying that we can manifest more when we do walk in true beauty, right? The true essence of who we really are. So that's really gorgeous. And the last card I pulled is Finding Sanctuary. Open to your spiritual source. So for me, intuitively, this has several meanings. So number one, it could literally mean your actual sanctuary, right? That place that you go to when, it's the end of your day and you want to just unwind and relax, right? You don't want to have someone in your ear. You don't want to have someone like, force feeding you information right when you walk in the door, asking you a bunch of questions. You want that sacred place where you feel loved, embraced, and accepted for who you are. And keyword, words, accepted for who you are. So finding sanctuary and opening to your spiritual source can also mean, I heard one person say that this full moon, we were having a discussion, and he said, this full moon, Andrea, coming up is really about setting healthy boundaries and, letting go of the past and things like that. And I feel like we've already done a really good job of like setting those healthy boundaries. And it's really like seeing how we react differently when people maybe cross them, right? So it's more about, are we going to react the same way? Are we going to, scream at people? Are we going to accept people screaming at us? Are we going to ghost? What are we going to do? It's acting differently, right? I know that now if I have a clear boundary set, right, and someone crosses it, I say it immediately and, set the boundary again and request it not to be, crossed again, and that's it. And if it is crossed again, you're gone. And to where I used to just cut people out completely. It would just be like, and then 5 years ago, I used to get needy with people. It was like the opposite. So it's kind of a level of growth and growth and growth and growth as we go along, like realizing what we'll accept and what we will not accept. I also think finding sanctuary, opening to your spiritual source, is talking about how we can overcome anything with the right people in our life, and how we can overcome obstacles with the right peer group, right? Not the peer group that's putting, what they think we should do in our ear, but those truly supportive people that are really there, that really have our back, that are really there to lift us up. You know, I often say we come into this world with our blood family and we discover who our soul family members are. And, you know, some of my clients say that their soul family is, you know, even closer to them than their real family. And I think that's really, you know, pertinent. Okay, so protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. And I'm going to take this as the last card. And what this really represents is that we are being led. We are protected. We are guided on this journey. We are not walking alone. Even if we are alone, we are not on this journey alone. We are protected. We are guided by angels. We are being led by our ancestors. So if you feel the energy is heavy over the next few days, especially on this full moon in Aquarius, know that it's coming from 3 sources. It's coming from the planetary shifts that we're going through. Welcome, Steve. Oh gosh, what a comment. What a comment. We're being affected by the planetary shifts. We are being affected by Leo, the ego version of Leo. I love Leos. It's actually one of my favorite signs, and I get along really well with Leos, but they are known to be the ego sign. So we are being affected by that aspect, you know, our ego's front and center, and everyone has an ego. You know, I would say monks don't have an ego. I would say probably Jay Shetty doesn't have an ego. He's wonderful. If you're not watching him, do. I would say, you know, there's a lot of people that have really, really processed themselves to the point of no ego. I know my ego is not all gone. I still have a bit of an ego in me. It comes out from time to time. So, you know, that's another energy that's affecting us right now. But also the past and how we react to things that come up from the past for us during this time is also very important. Are we going to do the same thing that got us where we are today, right? Are we going to, maybe if you're, you know, a male and you're really jealous and you know, if someone breaks up with you, you try to sabotage their life, are you going to continue to do that? Where has that gotten you? You know, what kind of karma has that brought into your life? Or if you're a woman who, you know, is very needy and very codependent, you know, how far has that gotten you? So it's about cutting ties with situations, people, and circumstances that no longer serve us, right? Maybe codependency doesn't serve you anymore, so it's time to cut the cord. Maybe trying to control, you know, everyone that you've ever dated doesn't serve you anymore, and it's time to cut those cords. Maybe overreacting if you're in a boss position at work and something doesn't go your way with your team, it's time to really work on that area of your life. Maybe saying 1 square of chocolate instead of like 5 is a reaction that we need to change, right? When we're upset, bored, lonely, angry, or something of that nature. I do want to share with you 3 things I'll be doing tonight for this full moon. Full moons are all about letting go. So it's not like where you write down what you want to come into your life and that's a new moon. A full moon is about, you know, what you want to expel from your life in a gentle, loving way. Now, I don't write down anything anymore. I know I have a few full moon rituals on Andrea Cox TV and on the Detox Intuitive. I actually can just speak it into reality, you know, like I want this to end with this. I have that type of power at this point, I think. I've opened that box, Pandora's box. But let me take a sip of water. Or, sorry, tea. But what I usually do is I like to light a copal stick, a Mexican copal, And I'll take it around myself. I'll take it around Sweet Lewis. I used to take it around Roger. I'll take it around the house. I'll cleanse the energy, and then I'll open the windows and air it out for an hour. I'll take it on the outside of the house for protection of the house. I'll say a little prayer. I'll set an intention. I'll light a candle. I'll pull in the 4 elements, and I'll just out loud say, I would like to release this over the next 30 days. I would like to release this over the next 30 days. It can be anything. It can be, I would like to release 5 pounds over the next 30 days. I would like to release the energy attachments of said person or people over the next 30 days. I would like to release my garage being filled with boxes that I chose not to open over the next 30 days. I would like to release any attachments to clothes that don't fit me anymore over the next 30 days. So anything you feel you need to release, you can do so. And tonight is the perfect time to do it. So whatever you're feeling right now, whether you are feeling peace and tranquility, or whether you are feeling, welcome Sam, whether you are feeling stressed, overwhelmed, maybe hateful, maybe angry, maybe upset, welcome Patty. Whatever you are feeling right now, it's about choosing a different reaction. This full moon in Aquarius represents us choosing a different reaction than we have before. So maybe, I know for me, I used to overreact. I've got a lot of water in my chart, a lot of Scorpio, a lot of Pisces, a lot of Cancer. There's a lot of water. That's heavy emotions. And it took, 4 decades for me to be able to tame my emotions and to contain them in a place where someone has to do some really shady stuff to react. I think the last time I reacted was when a neighbor left their dog out in the heat, and I called actually called 911 and learned that I could get in trouble for calling 911 for that, but I did. And because I'm passionate about animals, but it's about choosing, like actually thinking before we react in order to change our reactions, and also noticing how far we've come, but also trying to improve how far we've come, right? So if you're the guy that is, always on social media leaving comments under women's things and you're married or whatever, kind of like examine that, right? Kind of even examine it if you're not married, right? Really examine how you react visually to like women, or how you react how you react emotionally when maybe someone doesn't show up for you in the way you feel they should show up, right? Because maybe it's time for us to like turn inward and kind of look at ourselves, because usually people's reaction to us and the way they are treating us is a direct reflection of the way we are treating them. So that's really, really, really important to kind of like keep in mind, right? And what you think about, you bring about. And I know that's a super silly statement. A lot of people don't really honor that statement. What you think about, you most certainly bring about. You bring it about. So, it's not about just thinking positive thoughts. It's also about following those thoughts up with action, right? I want to take off 5 pounds. If I want to take off 5 pounds, I need to go to the gym more, or I need to do hot yoga more. It's as simple as that. So let this full moon, because this is a powerful one. Aquarius, also Pluto is playing a huge role. That's why I brought up the news in the beginning. So where Pluto is in all of this, which is opposing and things like that, that's why it's going to be really interesting to see how things are handled when they're exposed on like a national level. And I think we're seeing a lot of that lately, but just watching that play out is going to be extremely interesting, right? because we're actually seeing, you know, I don't want to say anything, but I don't want to get censored, but we're actually seeing people speak out about big corps and media and like hiding things. We're seeing this. We're actually seeing it. And a lot of us have seen it for decades and decades and decades. And we're called the crazy ones or the conspiracy theorists or what have you. And now other people are actually seeing things come out and they're just like, oh, okay, wow. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this transpires over the next week, because full moon energy lasts, you know, it's like 3 days leading up to it, 3 to 5 days, 3 to 5 days after. And especially if you have prominent Leo and prominent Aquarius, it's going to be, you know, heavy. I have Leo in my house of communication. So Leo's confidence, it's also ego, it's also, so that's why I'm a confident speaker. I also have it in, is it my 11th house, which is like, you know, really destined for certain things. And when I noticed before I was doing this video and I sat down, I never write down anything. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about 5 minutes before I sit down. I got a little nervous, and I don't get nervous. I don't get nervous when I go on camera. I actually just don't care. I don't get nervous. And I did. And so that's that Pluto opposition, right? And that's my placements, right? Just I've got Aquarius in my chart as well. And that's that kind of dance that they do, right? Pluto saying, well, who are you to get up here and talk about this? Who are you to, what do you know? Well, I know a lot. So this is where we're at. So really feel into these feelings. Notice how far you've come on your growth, especially the males. I know a lot of men are going through like a major growth process. Hang on, you guys. This is the best hibiscus tea I've ever had in my life, and I made it, and I feel like super jazzed about that. This is really a time where a lot of men have had massive spiritual growth, and we really need to give them, you know, props and kudos for that. They are really seeing what they've been doing. A lot of men are actually admitting to things they've done, and they're like saying, you know, I'm sorry for this. So it's time to really welcome Julie. How are you? Welcome, Sam. It's time to really give these men the accolades they deserve and say, you know what? The ones who deserve it, right? I see what you're doing. I see the growth you've had. I'm so proud of you. I see that you told that person the truth, right? And you're not leading them by a string anymore. Good job. I'm so proud of you, even though you made them like sit there for 5 years. I see that you apologize for doing XYZ. Good job. I see that you brought the trash cans in. Great job. I see that you have been working out more and you've been taking care of yourself. I see that I feel like a lot of women who are in relationships, I've had a lot of clients express this to me, go through a feeling of feeling like when their person is next to them, and this goes for bisexual relationships too, that their person, the male, is not attentive and wants to be somewhere else, like they always want to be out and about, and the woman feels like they're not good enough or like the person doesn't want to be with them. No, maybe the person just likes to be out and about and that's their thing. And maybe you're opposite, right? And maybe that can be worked on in a way that allows both of you to grow together, right? So that's something I hear a lot of. And I think really, you guys, we're in a time of rapid change. And I was just thinking yesterday, and I don't want to give too much information away, but 3 of my health coaching clients have like major health issues going on right now, like major ones. And one is only 20 years old, and they go up to being in their 50s. And when you hear things like that and you get news like that from 3 different people you're working with all in the same day, it is such an eye-awakening experience that reminds you how short life is, and to like appreciate people, right? And to like deaden those horrible bridges of anger and hatred towards people and build love. You don't have to be their best friend, but you can, you know, be kind, right? So that's important. And yeah, I think that's all I want to say. Let's draw a final card, and just for the energy. So let's just draw one for females. I feel like this is male actually. And let's do this for female. Wow, protected by angels again. So, okay, for females, this was sticking out the top and it's in reverse. So this is what you're not doing that you should be doing. Joy and delight, open your heart to joy. So this was like this, look at this. So open your heart to joy. So you've been hurt, your heart's closed. You know, maybe you're in your masculine energy a lot, right? I've been there. I go back and look at old videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, even my voice was like, I mean, so we can get in that energy to where we close ourselves off so much to people because of pain. So it was in reverse. So I'm going to turn it upright and leave it that way. So open your heart. And men, I got 2 cards for you, but I'm going to take this one. Transformation, a fresh new way of living emerges. And I love this. It's the eagle. It's like Scorpio energy, right? It's transformation. And I'm feeling like traveling lightly, simplifying your life, simplifying your life, simplifying your life, simplifying your life. I have a dream of owning an animal sanctuary, like a legit dream. Like that's the only people I follow are people who own animal sanctuaries. And when I look at the hard work, like the manual labor that goes into that, I'm like, I don't know. And then how would I travel? And then the more I think about it, I think about, wow, I would just need one person that really knew how to take, you know, like a farmhand or something, and then I could travel, and then I could live. But that's the way my mind, I'm weighing that up because it's my dream, but it also involves a lot of work work that I would pretty much know how to do, but real manual labor. And so I'm at that crossroads of like, do I want that? Should I create that? Or no, but that's my dream, that's my vision. So traveling light, right, is getting rid of the baggage we don't need. So for me, it's, do I get rid of current baggage and just go towards that and know that everything is working out for my highest good and I'll find someone to help and it'll be, you know, worked out? Or do I look at it as that would be not traveling light and be too much baggage? So that's like, and this may mean something different for you, right? So traveling light, maybe you need to clean out your car, you need to clean out your closet, or you need to clean out your, I just deleted a bunch of people I followed off of Instagram the other day. I deleted like 200 people. I don't like to even, right? So that's what this is about this time. So enjoy this beautiful full moon in Aquarius. It's one of my favorite full moons because it does a number on our ego. It really holds a mirror to us and shows us what we need to change. And you know, again, going back to the beginning of the video, and I know I rambled a bit, but focusing on being our true self. Like, I haven't used a filter in like 5.5 months. Like, it's not needed, you guys. We are so, even, I mean, and if you're trying to impress people, people see through that, right? So it's about being our natural selves, the way God created us, right? Not holding on to all these preconceived notions that people have in society. I mean, there's robots being built as like supermodels right now. It's weird, right? So really getting back to like that core essence of who we are deep within our heart space, what we truly want for our lives. I hope this helped you guys. I love you. If you guys could do me a favor, I would appreciate it. I've got lots of, hey Eric, welcome. Thank you, Ed. I've got lots of major changes coming up. So if you guys could hop on over to AndreaCox.com and there'll be this big pop-up that pops up. It's like so hard to X out. We're fixing that. But just put in your email address. I don't give away your email address. I don't sell you to anyone or anything like that, unless you make me mad. No, I'm just kidding. And your name, and you'll get my newsletter. I only send it out like twice a week, so that's really cool. Lots of like giveaways and things like that, but lots of announcements. Also, if you guys can hop on over to YouTube and subscribe to Andrea Cox TV, that is my health and wellness, my detoxification channel, and the Detox Intuitive, that is my spiritual channel. The monthly readings are going to completely change. I'm moving away from what I was doing, more into the astrology. And of course, my new book, Eat Right for Your Zodiac, can be found on Amazon. It can be found on both my websites, andreacox.com and the Detox Intuitive. Thanks, guys. I love you. Happy full moon in Aquarius. Bye.